Hello, I'm Chris. This is Gross Models. Welcome to issue 86 of Building Marvel's Iron Man. This is another interesting issue where things come together. The front and the back of the chest pieces, the chest and the back, merge into one, and then you've got less parts to worry about. But they still give you some extra parts that you're not attaching yet. Anyway, so yeah. Right, we're looking at the Mandarin. Obviously, I'm aware of him from the film, but obviously it's different in the comics because everything is. Go. Oh, apparently he got hurt. Oh. So yeah, things to read if you are that way inclined. The building, chest part 15. We've got upper breastplate and back plates. Pictorial details, not nipples. They're pictorial details, and some interior details on there, as well as some screws. So I shall get to that momentarily. We'll put that together, screw the front and the back together, and cover over the screw holes with the details, basically. Nice and easy. Then we're left over with a couple of bits, but only a couple of bits. So we'll get to that momentarily. Looking at villains in armor in the comics. Death metal. The greatness of a hero is measured by the quality of his or her enemies. That sounds like a plan. Yeah. I mean, if your nemesis is, just a nobody, then you're probably a nobody. Different art styles again. These are the older ones, aren't they? Cool, interesting stuff. Looking War Machine again. Still going on about the armor of War Machine. Okay. New creators, new characters. Good stuff. Obviously the Ultimate Iron Man #1. Ultimate Comics from December 2012. And next, Build the Chest, part 16. It's going to be putting the details on the front and things, isn't it? And then a new phase, putting the genie back in the bottle. Right, let me clear the bench. We'll get the parts ready and we'll start putting the things together. Right, this is what we are supplied with this issue. Parts that we're not going to be using yet. I'm assuming this is obviously going to go on the front. These are going to cover over the screw holes that attach it. But we don't need that yet. We will need those and those momentarily. And obviously some screws we're going to be using. 4 of those according to the instructions. Let's get those out ready. Then I can stop worrying about that. So we are attaching the back that we've just been playing around with to the front, which we haven't been playing around with for a while, but we are now once again. Now the tricky bit is getting this lined up through that little hole there. Now it does say you can glue a bit of cotton on there, thread that through and do that, but I need effort. I'm just going to see if I can line it up. Obviously it does wobble about quite a bit, so the trick is just going to be getting it lined up properly while getting obviously the 4 attachment points lined up as well as getting the shoulders into the shoulder areas. The added difficulty is you can't actually see what you're doing in there while you're in there because stuff in the way. Actually, I can just about see in there. So I reckon I can probably, I can grab that post and use that and manipulate that while I'm here. Get that through there. At least that's my plan. I do love it when a plan comes together. Right, it might take me a while, but I'm still not going to get any cotton out and do it that way. So I shall miraculously disappear, do that off camera, and then come back with it all working and properly attached, and we'll get the other bits in, get it screwed together. So I shall see you in just a moment. Okay, just a few minutes missing time for you there, and it's done. You can see the little button there, which doesn't feel like it's doing anything until you get that in place on the front, and then you can feel and hear it working the button. Also, it pops that out a bit, but I'm sure once the surround is in place, like that, go there, a bit like that, and that's going to surround some of it. So yeah, that's that. I have put the screws in, although I haven't tightened them down as yet, because I wanted to make sure everything lined up properly, which thankfully it does. So I can now come back in, tighten down all of the screws, And that will bring these seams into alignment, tighten everything up, make everything fit nicely. So we've got those two at the bottom there, and then up in the top here, we've got these two. Can they go down out of the way? That'll do. Those on the top of the shoulder. One and that one. There we go. Right, then we've got some details to pop in. Let's see what we're going to be doing first. We're putting the big gold bits in first. They'll only go one way round. So that should be fairly obvious. It's going to go that way because that one won't fit that side. These just pop in once you're happy with the screws being in. Just push into place. Just like that. Covering it over, and they'll cover that over. And then in the top piece, we've got these, which again, only go in one way round. Covers over that piece like that. Covers over those screw holes there. Of course, once the flaps are shut, which is probably going to be the more normal display position, you're not going to be able to see any of these anyway, but that's not the point. Lined up quite long posts, but you've got to get the angle right. It doesn't just push in from above, it sort of comes in underneath a little bit. That sort of angle. Lined up there. One hopefully will line up in about the same place. There we go. It was there and then I popped it out. Like that. For some reason that's not quite right, but that's just about there. Then those will close down over the top, and that will be a big chunk of the way there. So this is obviously going to attach on there. A bit like that. And we're going to have more neck piece and obviously more front armor piece. These are going to go and cover over the screw holes. So that's that. It's getting there. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. That won't fit on there while that's in place. Go over the top of that. Nice. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know, and I shall see you very shortly for this or something else. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.